Welcome to the channel, bringing a real-world perspective to the real-world whiskey consumer.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Erin.
And on these Tuesday videos, what we like to do is start a conversation with you guys or cover some type of topic that is of interest in the whiskey community.
Yep.
And the latter is what we're doing today. We polled our Patreon audience and had them, out of 20-something pours, had them vote on the top 9 that they wanted to see for this experiment. And we polled you guys here on YouTube to see how many people drink their whiskey, or their bourbon specifically, over ice. And the answer we got was 75% of the audience at least sometimes drinks their bourbon over ice. Some people almost exclusively do it. Other people rarely. There's a spectrum here.
I voted rarely.
Yes. I never drink my bourbon over ice. Almost ever, but I guess I would technically vote rarely to be
accurate,
fully honest, because every once in a while I do like Maker's Mark Private Selections or Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof over ice.
There you go.
However, here we are focusing on available products that are also affordable. We want to find out what the best one to drink over ice is. This is an interesting experiment. This is going to be a bracket style. There's going to be 3 rounds of 3 pours.
I feel so sporty doing a bracket.
And these are blind.
This is like sports.
We do know the 9 bottles, but we do not know the 3 that we're sipping
tasting
out
today,
of that 9. So we're going to taste these 3. One will advance to the final round. We'll do 2 subsequent videos in the next 2 weeks on Tuesdays, where we do the next 3 next week and the last 3 the last week. We will kind of know what the last 3 are when we get to that.
Well, I don't really know what's in here at all, so I won't know.
Yeah, and I'll put the list over here or over there so you can see what bottles are involved, but we're going to keep you in the dark with us. 3 of those are in here. The other 6 will be coming in the subsequent weeks. As Erin goes ahead and gets into the first glass.
Am I just sipping?
Yeah, you can't really get a nose. You can try to get any kind of nosing notes off of a glass with ice in it, but the ice dulls it down and cools it down. We're trying to find the most enjoyable sipper for our palate.
And I will do my best not to let the ice clink too much for the microphone to pick it up.
It'll be fine.
It's going to happen.
You're drinking stuff with ice in it. It's going to clink. So just enjoy yourself. I will say, while she's doing that, we're just going to share glasses. We're married. She's already got my cooties.
I got his cooties. They're fine. I'm immune.
Yeah. And also, I will tell you, if you want to join our Patreon community, vote in polls like this, get our barrel picks, things like that, that's down in the video description below, as is a link to our shop, stuffandwhiskey.com, where you can get shirts like this and more that we've got coming soon, including some glasses and Glens that we're working on getting on the way.
Yes. Are we going to put these on the website?
Yes.
Yeah, these are awesome.
They will be.
Also, I'm doing this like I do barrel picks. I'm just going to drink.
Okay.
And like go through them one by one.
Well, you need to talk to the people. What did you think about glass 1?
It was fine. It tasted like whiskey.
Okay.
Like there's nothing like substantial to note.
Okay. Do you enjoy glass 1 on ice, or
it was fine?
There's nothing off-putting in there?
No, it was fine. It tasted good and chilled.
All right. Erin does like to rifle through this, and I know that can be confusing to you guys watching. So we're going to focus on glass 1 at the moment. You just do your thing.
You talk about glass 1.
Glass number 1. I mean, I can't get anything on the nose. It's too iced down and cool. So let's taste it. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So one of the things that I find when you drink bourbon on ice is an amplification of the vanilla note. At least in the pours I like the best.
Interesting.
And glass 1 does that. The ice amplifies the vanilla note. I guess I should say,
I haven't even tasted this, but this smells good. I could smell it.
Okay. I will say glass 1 amplifies the vanilla note. And what I'm getting out of it too is I'm getting like this just generally pleasant experience. There's not really any spice to speak of. It just seems quite well rounded, kind of chocolatey, caramelly vanilla.
I feel like glass 1 is like a general typical bourbon.
Yeah.
Over ice, it still tastes like a general bourbon, like a good one.
It's very classic.
Yeah, classic. That's what I mean, classic.
Can't really get anything on the nose on 2 either.
No, I'm interested to see what you get on the palate for 2 because I got something and I want to wait.
Maybe a little fruitiness. Oh, wow. Okay, there's like a weird note on that. I don't know what it is. It's like almost, I don't know why gasoline came to mind.
Oh, wow. Okay, I was thinking peanut shells. It's very dry and like peanutty.
Yeah, I don't think I like that on 2. I definitely like 1 more than 2.
Same.
But yeah, it's coming through with this, this kind of dry bitterness.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought gasoline, but it kind of has like this thinness, like there's like this vapory quality on the palate. Like it feels very evaporative on the palate. I don't even know if that makes sense. It's not something I've ever got in any of these 9 bottles on the palate, sipping them neat.
You get like peanuts. very strong peanuts.
Yeah.
But not in a good way. Kind of like a gasoline-y. I see what you mean, but it was almost for me like a drying peanut shell.
Okay. What did you think about glass number 3?
I'm going to need to come back to it. So,
this does smell good.
Yeah, I know, right?
It smells rich.
Yeah. That's the only one I could smell. When I taste more than 2 glasses at a time, I have to drink them kind of close together. So I apologize for the confusion if it's confusing for you watching this while I'm drinking all these, because I'll forget if I don't drink them close together.
What we will do is we will take some time off camera, like we do in our head-to-heads, so that you can do this in the future videos. We should have discussed this beforehand, so to kind of eliminate the confusion, because it can get very confusing for the viewers, but hopefully you guys are able to keep track of this. In the next 4 videos in this series, we will clean that up.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Glass number 3, though,
it smelled really good, but it doesn't taste as good as it smelled.
I do think 1 is my front runner right now, but we're gonna need to spend some time with these. Glass 3 is good, but there's like a little bit of harshness on the palate from the ice. It's brought out some of the harshness.
Yeah, and like a sharpness
and thinness. It's like thin and sharp.
Oh, interesting.
So when this happens, like this happens on ice sometimes, is that adding water or ice to a pour sometimes brings out notes you didn't know were there, maybe like in glass 1, whereas it can bring out some less desirable notes like in glass 2 and 3, seemingly.
Yeah.
But we are going to spend some time with these. We're going to figure out which one we're going to advance. Will it be glass 1, or as these continue to dilute, will we have another front runner jump into that final round position? But only one can advance to the finals.
And we have to agree.
We have to agree. We're going to spend our time, figure that out right now. We'll be right back. All right, we have come to a consensus.
Yes, and we agreed pretty easily.
We do, in the whole order. So advancing is glass number 1.
Glass number 1.
And what was it about glass number 1 that made it so appealing on ice?
It was still very well balanced over ice. It brought out all the good things that we like, according to our flavor palettes, in the whiskey. Whereas I feel like the ice in these other 2 brought out maybe some flavors we didn't like as much when it was watered down. Right.
That stayed consistent. Ice in both of these brought out some off-putting notes.
Yeah.
And in this one, it was just like kind of this generally weird funkiness. And this one, it was kind of this dry bitterness.
I will say for me, this one did get better as the ice kind of melted even more, but it still wasn't as good as glass 1.
Yeah. Glass 1, easy winner here. It was the most balanced. It has very classic bourbon notes, caramel, vanilla, oak, very good over ice. I would be happy to sip that over ice.
Yeah.
I would not choose to sip either of these over ice, personally speaking. So definitely the winner here is glass 1. Moving on to the finals. 3rd place was glass number 2. And let's find out what it is.
Knob Creek 9-year. Don't cheat. Don't look.
Wow. Okay. So Knob Creek 9-year in a big spot coming up short. Wow.
Yeah, I don't think it's not presenting itself in the best light when it's on ice.
Yes.
To me.
You know what? It's not its best self right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
It needs to go do some work.
I will say that Knob Creek 9-year, this particular bottle, maybe it's just this bottle, or maybe it's the product in general. We don't like this bottle neat either.
Yeah.
But it's decisively worse on ice for us than it is neat.
Yes.
And we don't even like it neat. This was the #1 vote getter from our Patreon community.
No way.
Yep. And it has fallen short yet again. We did a Classics Revisited.
I think people really want us to like Knob Creek 9.
Maybe it's just this bottle. I don't know.
Should we get another bottle to see? Like, I feel like before we run out of this bottle, we should get another bottle and compare them.
We'll do that. Keep an eye on the channel for that. 2nd place, glass number 3 is...
Early Times Bottled in Bond.
Oh, wow. Okay. I can tell you right now, I like this neat a whole lot better.
It's like
than
one
on
of your
ice.
favorites neat.
I love this neat. This is a 2 thumbs up bottle for me. I'm such a big fan of Early Times Bottled in Bond. Putting it on ice just dulls out all the things I love, the richness. It does have that smell that's still hopping out of the glass, but it brings...
Which I was surprised by.
It brings out like this kind of bitterness and this harshness, whereas glass 1 didn't have any of that. What's our winner out of this heat, this round?
You're going to like this.
What is it?
Elijah Craig Small Batch.
Oh, okay. Elijah Craig Small Batch is a product before I got whiskey nerdy. I used to drink this on ice.
Oh, did you?
Yep. And I thought it was fantastic, and I thought it was highly underrated.
I mean, it is very good on ice.
When I started getting whiskey nerdy, nobody talked about this stuff. Everybody talked about Buffalo Trace. I thought this was absolutely wonderful on ice. And guess what? Still holds up.
Years later, you didn't even know you were drinking it, and you still thought it was good on ice.
Man, it's just so balanced, and the ice brings out this caramel or this vanilla note that is just so pleasant. Like it's ice creamy. It's almost like you've got a bowl of ice cream with 2 scoops of vanilla and a half a scoop of chocolate, and you're just enjoying it with a little caramel drizzle.
It's ice cream-esque. I wouldn't go so far as to say it's ice creamy.
It's not that sweet, but
I can see the correlation.
Okay. Elijah Craig moves on to the final round, which will be happening in 3 weeks.
I can't do it.
The air horn.
Yeah.
So Elijah Craig moves on. These two are eliminated. Sorry. It is what it is. Somebody's got to lose.
Off to you.
Somebody has to win. We will be back the next 2 following weeks with the second and third rounds of this to see who will be challenging Elijah Craig. Next time, this is going to be much more coordinated. We talked about that during the break.
We did.
Because we didn't talk about it before this episode.
We're on the same page now.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see you next week. Tune in. Subscribe if you're not already, because you're going to miss us if you don't.
I know, right?
Hit the bell. It'll let you know when that video comes out, and it will let you know when we live stream. We do that once a month, and would love for you to join us for a pour. And like this video if you like it. And that's it for today.
Yep, that's it. Be good until, well, we'll be good to each other and be good. Actually, I'm going to tell you what I tell Josh every day before he leaves for work. Be good and do good.
Like, does she expect me to not do good? Is this what?
It's just a reminder.
Okay.
Be good and do good in the world. Put good out into the world. And until next time, cheers.
Cheers.